Welcome to the Sunday version of the Cohn Phone, the only show where I take your calls and you are the superstar for the day. But the way it works here is I get the floor first for 10 minutes. Two topics. I want to tell you what's on my mind, and then I'll give you something to react to if you don't have any topics of your own, although you always do. You always have a lot to say, and it's never like, hey, Grant, what's up? What's on your mind today? No, I get that out of the way, and then boom, you guys are the star. That's why I like the Cohn Phone, because you guys tell it how it is. So let me tell you how I think it is right now. Adam Schefter last week was saying Niners going to take Mac Jones. They're going to take Mac Jones. It was very bold. Seemed a little out of character for Adam Schefter, considering it seems like no one really knows who the Niners are taking. So now he's saying, well, he would still guess that the Niners are taking Mac Jones, but they're open-minded. They're open-minded. They're going to the Justin Fields pro day, the second one. They're going to Trey Lance's second pro day. And what he said is basically they need to do their due diligence. They have to make sure they see all of these quarterbacks. Because if you remember, 2017, they didn't spend a lot of time evaluating Patrick Mahomes or Deshaun Watson because they were so focused on signing Kirk Cousins in 2018 that they missed out on two great players. So I guess there's two ways you could interpret this news. Three. That one is that Adam Schefter has no idea what's going on and he's just making stuff up. That's possible. Two is that the Niners, Kyle Shanahan in particular, is still set on drafting Mac Jones. He just realizes what an unpopular pick it's going to be. And in an attempt to cover his butt, is going to the other pro days, doing his homework, saying, yeah, I like Justin Fields. I like Trey Lance. I like all these guys. And I'm going to evaluate them earnestly, carefully, like I didn't do in 2017 with Patrick Mahomes and Deshaun Watson, and come to the right decision. So what he could say is, I looked at Justin Fields very closely. I like Justin Fields as much as the next guy. I looked at Trey Lance very closely. I like Trey Lance as much as the next guy. It's just that the more that I studied Mac Jones, the more I loved him. So I understand if some fans are a little concerned, but just know that I like these guys too. I just love Mac Jones. That could be part of it. I could be part of it. Or what's happening could be that Kyle Shanahan and the organization see what an unpopular pick Michael McCorkle Jones would be for the 49ers. And even Kyle, the most confident / cocky head coach in the league, who never buckles to public pressure, always does what he thinks is the smartest thing to do, even if no one else thinks that, is going to fold. It's going to say, you know what? I like Mac Jones. I want Mac Jones. I traded up to get Mac Jones. But even I understand that this is career suicide. No one will appreciate this move. Everyone will pan it. My fans will desert me. My loyal supporters in the media will excoriate me. And who knows what the front office and the ownership of my own organization will think of me then. Could lose a lot of power. If Mac Jones doesn't work out, all of a sudden the power could shift to John Lynch. All of a sudden, Jed York could look at Kyle Shanahan a lot differently. Like, dude, you've gotten this wrong how many times? You didn't want Patrick Mahomes. You didn't want Deshaun Watson. You didn't want Tom Brady, but you wanted Mac Jones and you traded all that and that's what you got. Okay, well, enough. So maybe even if Kyle was the one who wanted Kirk Cousins over Robert Griffin in 2012. Kyle's the kind of guy who goes out on a limb for players. He seems like the kind of guy who would go out on a limb for Mac Jones. Maybe he realizes he just doesn't have the job security or the cachet to pull that off. And maybe he's going to say, you know what? Fine. You guys pick the quarterback. I'll draft him. And if he doesn't work out, it's on you. You know who I wanted. You said I couldn't have him. Fine. You pick the quarterback. You guys are the experts, right? You get the scouting department. I trust you. Give me Trey Lance or Justin Fields, even though I'm going to put it in writing that I object. That's not who I want. I wanted Mac Jones. But I also want to save my job. So you give me whichever quarterback, and if he doesn't work out, it's on you. That could be happening too. I find it, or let me circle back to the original one. Adam Schefter just doesn't freaking know. And the whole open-minded thing is a way of him hedging. I don't know. But all I'm saying is I'm not the most connected guy in the NFL. I do have some connections. I got some. And it's not, I mean, it's all over. And no one that I've talked to has said, I know who the Niners are going to take. No one has said, I don't think anyone knows who the Niners are going to take. That's the beauty of this right now. I don't think Schefter knows. I don't think anyone knows. But I know people in the league who are connected and can guess. And everyone's best guess is the Niners aren't going to take Mac Jones. No one really thinks they're going to do it. They could do it. But everyone's like, I just don't see it. I just don't see it. That's a guess. But I think it's, I think it's interesting that that's the guess I'm hearing from multiple people across the league in different cities and different markets. There's no way they'd take Mac Jones, right? That's the guess. So let's move on. One more thing. Will the Jets draft Trey Lance? Yesterday I came on here and said, I think Zach Wilson has fallen to the Niners. I don't think the Jets are going to take him. And what I'm hearing around the league, the speculation is that the Jets might take Justin Fields. That makes sense. A lot of people like Justin Fields. What if it's Trey Lance instead, though? Let me make the case for why it could be Trey Lance. They're both excellent athletes. You could argue that Trey Lance is even better. Trey Lance he's still 20. He's still growing and filling out. When he's done, he's going to be about 6'4", 6'5", 245, 250. It's going to be like Josh Allen. Justin Fields is 6'2.5", 227, a little bit more Dak Prescott size, RG3 size. Trey Lance is the one with high upside potential. He's young, hasn't played much, but very smart guy. Everyone says he's extremely smart and driven, self-driven. He wasn't getting scholarship offers as a quarterback. He has a lot to prove. He's got a chip on his shoulder. He played in a pro-style offense, but here's the kicker. He went to North Dakota State. That's where Carson Wentz went. Why is Carson Wentz important? Well, Robert Saleh isn't making this pick for the Jets. Joe Douglas is. That's their GM. He's a strong GM. He hired Saleh. He has strong opinions on who to take. He came from Philly. In 2016, he was the Philadelphia Eagles vice president of player personnel. You know who Philly took with the second pick in the 2016 draft? They traded up to get him too. Carson Wentz, North Dakota State. And Carson Wentz has had an up and down career. He was excellent his second year, 2017. He was on pace to be the MVP until he tore his ACL right at the end of the season. Hasn't really been the same since. But Joe Douglas could say, look, before he got hurt, this guy was a superstar. He was better than any quarterback Ohio State or Alabama has produced ever, or at least in the last 50 years. And the thing about Trey Lance is he's even better. Better prospect, better athlete, higher, more potential. That's what Joe Douglas could say. If Joe Douglas liked Carson Wentz enough in 2016 to take him with the number 2 pick, some unknown dude from North Dakota State, why wouldn't he do it again? Once again, you got a guy who is an excellent athlete with potential, but he's played in a pro-style offense. He comes from a program that has had success developing NFL quarterbacks. He has been under center. He makes the reads and the calls and the checks at the line of scrimmage. He turns his back to the defense with play action. Seems like maybe he's a better fit for the Kyle Shanahan offense than Justin Fields, who spent most of his time in a spread offense in college. Maybe if the Niners like Trey Lance, maybe the Jets would like Trey Lance. And I keep going. Everyone thinks the Jets are taking Zach Wilson. Well, everyone thought the Niners were taking Mac Jones last week. It's really not clear. Who knows? Maybe the Jets and Niners could do a pick swap on draft day. Maybe the Niners end up picking second and the Jets end up picking third. One more thing. I was speculating early on in the process that I thought the 49ers and the Jets know what each other are drafting. If they somehow conferred and told, hey, I'm taking this guy or I'm not taking this guy. I just want you to know. I don't think that anymore. I think the Jets and the Niners are both keeping their picks 100% secret. I don't think anyone knows. I think you have very important newsbreakers like Adam Schefter trying to show that they're in the know and guessing, but I don't think anyone knows who the Jets are going to take, and I don't think anyone knows who the Niners are going to take. And part of the problem pigeonholing the Niners on a player is it all depends on who the Jets take. What if the Jets take Trey Lance? What if the Jets take Mac Jones? It all could change. So yesterday I said, I think the Jets go Justin Fields and Niners go Zach Wilson. Now I'm starting to think, well, man, if the Jets could talk themselves into Justin Fields, maybe they'll talk themselves into Trey Lance. Trey Lance seems possible. Joe Douglas has the North Dakota State connection. And there's another thing. I mean, I feel like what people say about Trey Lance reminds me of Fred Warner. I mean, super smart. Everyone says he's really smart, but lacks experience. Fred Warner played basically nickelback in college, and the Niners drafted him to play middle linebacker, something he'd never done. He learned on the job and had to remake his body. He put on like 15 pounds. But he had the work ethic, the smarts, the IQ, all the intangibles that Robert Saleh liked. It seems like Trey Lance has a lot of the same reports. It's kind of a Fred Warner-esque unknown guy from the mountain time zone, place where it doesn't get scouted very much, but Robert Saleh was all over BYU, and Fred Warner, maybe he likes Trey Lance too. I think it's possible. Trey Lance to the Jets. Keep an open mind there. All right. Couple questions, then I'll take a lot of calls. Look at college highlights of Mullins, Darnold, Man-Crush Cullins. All players played just like Trey Lance. Mullins was in a spread offense in college. Mullins played for Todd Monken. He was more in a Trevor Lawrence, Justin Fields type thing. I'm just saying. All right, hold on. Hold the phone. Felix says, can you explain to me why the third best quarterback is worth 3 firsts when we wouldn't give up 1 first for Stafford, who is better now than these guys might ever be? Yeah, Felix, you got me there. I'm thinking this is what happened. The Niners were stingy in the Stafford trade. They didn't want to go all in. They wanted to get him at a bargain. And when the Rams committed and went all in, the Niners were like, go ahead, we'll get Deshaun Watson. Stupid. Overeager. Matthew Stafford, we're going to trump that. Good for you. You got Matthew Stafford, we're going to get Deshaun Watson. And then that fell apart, and the Niners were like, oh, no. We should have got Stafford. We should have got Stafford. We should have just done that. I don't know why we held out hope for this Deshaun Watson character who we didn't really know. Now we can't do that. Now we got to do something. Now we're trading up for the third best quarterback in the draft. Yeah, Felix, it's not good. I think in retrospect, if the Niners could do this offseason again, they would just trade for Matthew Stafford because he's going to be better than any quarterback they take at number 3. That's most likely. Last one, Niner by nature. I see you, Niner by nature. Trey Lance plus Javonte Williams would break records in the run game. Trey Lance may not be there. The more I think about it, the more it makes sense that the Jets would take him. Joe Douglas has already taken a North Dakota State quarterback before. The Jets can afford to let Trey Lance learn on the job. If he's the next Josh Allen, he's going to either need 2 years on the bench or 2 years to struggle on the field. The Jets can give him that. The Jets aren't going anywhere. They're rebuilding. They stink. They can let a rookie, inexperienced quarterback learn on the job the way the Bills did with Josh Allen. They drafted him the same year they hired a new coaching staff. It would work on the Jets. On the Niners, they can't afford to get Trey Lance because they're in win now mode. They think their Super Bowl window is open now. They've had 3 losing seasons in 4 years. Kyle Shanahan can't have the 4th one. He has to win more games than he loses next year. Has to. And if you draft Trey Lance, basically what you're telling the organization is, we may have another losing season because he's not necessarily going to help us this year. He could play. He may not help us. When Lance is on the team now, the whole thrust and focus of what you're trying to do is 2023. We're playing for 2023. Great. But Kyle can't do that because if by the time 2023 rolls around and they have Trey Lance, now they could be in a situation where they've had 5 losing seasons in 6 years. You don't get to do that in the NFL. You get fired, even if your name is Kyle Shanahan. You don't. Did Mike Shanahan ever have 5 losing seasons in 6 years? I doubt it. So Trey Lance, really intriguing athlete. He could end up being the best quarterback in this entire draft. Makes sense for the Jets. I don't think he makes sense for the 49ers, but what do I know? All right, it's time to take the questions. I'm putting the thing in the comment section. Boom, and then I'm going to put it in the description. Hold on. Boom. There, it's in the description. I'm ready to go. I'll be taking questions for the next hour. And I'm going to try to take as many people who didn't get to call in yesterday as possible because there's a lot of super fans that call in first every day. But if you didn't come in yesterday, I'll try to bump you to the front. And if You feel like you're getting bumped. I'm sorry. It's because you went on yesterday. But I'm going to get to you too. Don't worry. Don't worry. Okay. So Sai did not come on yesterday. Sai, how you doing?
Hey Grant, I'm doing good. How are you?
Good to see you. Good to see you.
Yeah, same here. Yeah, it's definitely when I saw your tweet this morning that nobody has a clue, I was just laughing, and then I saw that podcast of Adam Schefter. It was definitely hilarious.
Hilarious, right? Like
Yeah,
on cue.
exactly. Yeah,
Thanks, Adam. Thanks a lot for your speculation. Great.
exactly. I mean, looks like at this point our guess is as good as his. So,
Yeah, I
uh,
think so.
so during the week, I was actually excited when you mentioned that, hey, maybe the Jets are going after Fields, and now, of course, you're putting the
Lance,
name that, hey,
I
they
feel
could
like
go
50
after.
50. Yeah.
Yeah, it's just kind of. I mean, initially when the Niners traded up, my initial reaction to was like they're going after Wilson, right? Because otherwise you're not trading all those picks. They got to for sure go after Wilson. Was my initial
Can't
reaction.
be Mac Jones. Can't
Yeah,
be Mac Jones. Yeah.
exactly. The only
Yeah.
thing that gives me a pause is like it looks like the New York Jets or the media, they're not leaving any doubts at all that it could be a different pick for New York. But so if they actually end up taking Lance or Fields, I don't know how they're at this point. Everybody, all the fans seem to be set on Wilson because if you think about it, ideally, if this were to play out, if there is still a discussion or a debate, it should be more like what happened last year with Tua and Herbert. Nobody really knew. Like it was
Mhm.
being speculated that hey, Chargers could take Tua or Dolphins could take Tua, and even when it was the Wentz. Jared Goff, nobody really knew till the end. Like the two were always speculated between the two. So what I feel is the fact that we're not speculating whether the Jets are going to take Wilson or Lance or Fields. That's what gives me a pause to this theory that they could actually pick somebody else other than Wilson.
Well, here's the thing. It seems to me that Adam Schefter was saying very confidently that Sam Darnold was going to be the Jets starting quarterback in 2021. And
Hmm.
then the Jets traded him. So it seems like maybe the Jets are doing as good of a job as the 49ers of keeping their intentions concealed. I don't think anyone
Yeah,
really knows what the Jets are doing. There's local people in New York who speculate with confidence, but I think they're as much of a dark horse right now as the Niners. That's the way I read it. But maybe it's just I'm reading into it wrong, and they'll just take Zach Wilson, and I'll be like, well, yeah, I was obvious. I don't know.
yeah. I think
It's
that's. I
tough.
mean, you have a point. It's tough. You know, I just think at some point maybe this happens after the Fields pro day that at least speculation starts building that Jets actually could take somebody else. Because eventually they would have to prepare their fans for it if they're actually picking somebody else.
Well, we talked a couple of weeks ago that it's possible that the Jets and Niners will swap.
Yeah,
And if that's
exactly.
the case, think about it. Like, let's say the Niners and Jets want to swap, but neither one really knows who the other one likes. It's a tricky dance,
Yeah,
right? Let's say the
correct.
Jets like Trey Lance, but they don't want to take him at 2. They'd rather take him at 3. And they're going to
Correct.
trade down, but they don't really know who the Niners like. And there's a 10-25% chance the Niners like Trey Lance. And they're
Correct.
like, okay, well, do we buy this Mac Jones stuff? Or if we trade down to 3, do they hop up and take Trey Lance and we feel stupid? That could be going on here.
Correct. Yeah.
Or it could be Justin
So
Fields. You could just swap out any person's name.
exactly. So
Yeah.
yeah, at this point, it could be anything. Um,
Yes.
here is the other thing. I think going back to the one of the things, and I know that one of the questions was also on this earlier today. The Matt Stafford thing, it still bothers me that the 49ers didn't go all
Mm.
in on Matt Stafford. And I feel one of the, again, this is just speculation, one of the theories could be that maybe the quarterback that they were looking, because they were always probably going to draft a quarterback, and their thought process was this quarterback is not going to be a win now quarterback, but rather they're going to keep Jimmy Garoppolo. Maybe that was their plan all the while.
Mhm.
Because if you think about it, if the new quarterback they were going to bring on board, whether it's a rookie or all the quarterbacks that they looked at, then the best option seems to have been Matt Stafford. And the price,
Yeah.
again, it would have been cheaper than trading all these picks, right? So to me, it almost feels like they're not going for, with this rookie, they're not going for this win now
Hmm.
quarterback. And the other sort of related theory to this is at this point, irrespective of who they pick, there's going to be so much pressure on this guy. I feel that in a way, this rookie is going to be scrutinized more under more pressure than the first two picks, right? Because of
Mhm.
what the Niners traded up to get there. And also the fact that it seems all the discussion and argument is on the Niners pick. Like the other two seem to be set in stone.
Mhm.
So I almost feel for Niners, it might be better off they don't play this guy out of the gate. Like just like let him hang around for a year.
Yeah.
And if you add all of that up, it again reinforces that the pick is going to be Trey Lance, because he's the one guy they can easily bench him for a year and say, like, because everybody agrees that, hey, this guy is not going to be ready for a year. So they can just sit him on the bench for a year and then look at him next year and go with Jimmy Garoppolo this year. So I feel
Two things with that. One, Jimmy Garoppolo could get hurt week 2, and then Trey Lance is playing.
Yeah.
2, if Trey Lance plays and isn't ready and doesn't help you win, or sits on the bench and the Niners go under 500 again, that's a problem for Kyle Shanahan. I don't think he can afford another losing season. I know Jed loves him, but another losing season, I don't think Jed's expecting that. And if they take a guy who can't contribute year 1, you're flirting with that. You're flirting with that. You're flirting with that.
Which is why I feel, I mean, if that was so critical, they should have gone after Matt Stafford. And I'm pretty sure that,
Do you agree with my theory that they kind of like didn't go all in for Stafford because they felt they could get Watson?
That's definitely a possibility, but I feel that it goes back to what we were discussing last week. I feel that Kyle had the eye set on one quarterback for a while.
Yeah.
And he was going to go after it. And which is why everything else is like sort of your theory that, hey, we are exploring, we are not making this hasty decision like Kirk Cousins.
Yeah, right.
It is more that, hey, I'm like looking under every rock for a quarterback. But Kyle had his guy in mind from like way long ago. And that is one quarterback in this draft, and we'll find out soon who that is. And
no, I think it's good to remember though that whoever they take is going to have to be basically compared to Stafford. They had a choice, they made it. Rams made it, and we'll see who made the right one.
Correct.
Sorry.
Which is the other theory that I almost have is like, I know that we are looking at this as like, hey, Niners are borrowing picks from the future drafts. I almost think that they probably looked at this as like, hey, like this year I don't need to draft anybody because they signed all these free agents back. They got all the guys back. The only pick, I mean, if you think about it, Niners always put their pick on offensive or defensive line. And there's no good defensive lineman in this draft. And the offensive line, they already signed Trent Williams. So my theory is they're thinking that we are actually drafting for next year, but we are borrowing from the previous year, which is sort of like a counter thought to how we usually look. You're always borrowing from future years. But this is almost like, I'm actually drafting the quarterback for 2022, but I'm drafting him a year earlier.
Now,
which again goes back to the Trey Lance argument. So, yeah.
That's really interesting, Sai. Let's see what happens. Always a pleasure to see you on Sunday morning, man.
Yeah, same here. Thanks.
Right. Take care. Thank you. All right, we just got some huge donations, and then I'm going to come back to the questions. Nick, first, $20. Thank you, Nick. Trey Lance has only played sophomore season. Would it make sense to you that he transfer to a D1 school and battle for the number 1 spot and potentially be the number 1 overall pick in a future draft? I understand he wants that contract. Yeah, that would make sense. It's really too bad he couldn't play this year. It's really too bad he can't play next year. He needs more reps, but he's going to get like a $20 million signing bonus in a couple weeks. I don't know if I could turn that down so I could go play another year of football and maybe tear my ACL. Trey, go get that money. I understand. But yeah, it would help. And then finally, Niner by Nature with the $50. Dude, thank you. If I ever meet you in person, tell me you're Niner by Nature 88 and I'll buy you a drink. Can I get an interview on your Kyle Shanahan genius mind for my – hold on. Can I get an interview on your Kyle Shanahan genius mind for my YouTube? If so, how can one contact you for my – yeah, of course, absolutely. Grant Cohn at Gmail, one word. Grant Cohn at Gmail. In the comment in the subject, say that it's Niner by Nature 88. We'll work something out, man. Thank you. All right, who's next? KC.
Grant, what's going on, man? How are you?
What's going on, man? Good. How you doing?
I'm good, man. Just enjoying this weekend, man. Bright weather out here in DC, man. Just another weekend.
Dude. Nice.
Awesome. Yeah. So earlier this week, I overheard Richard Sherman. He was on Chris Collinsworth podcast with Trey White, I think. And
Yep.
And so they were talking about how Justin Fields should be the guy that they draft and they keep Jimmy Garoppolo. Now, I know a lot of people are probably like, okay, well, it's Richard Sherman. He's no longer on the team. His opinion doesn't really matter. I think we should actually like really deep dive into what he's actually saying, because I think whoever they decide to bring into that locker room, like Richard's plugged in. Like he wouldn't say this if he didn't think that that would be something that was acceptable. Like, and I'm actually on the minority when it comes to this. Like, I feel like Jimmy should be the starter this year because at the end of the day, they got to win games this year. They can't.
That's what I'm saying. They can't afford to have another losing season.
Like, yeah. Even if it's like 10, 11 games, like just win 10, 11 games. You have to get that. And like, you at least know with Jimmy Garoppolo, you can win games.
Yep.
On the flip
side. You don't
know
that with these rookies. You don't know that. You can get CJ Beathard again. Who knows?
Exactly. None of these, I don't feel like any of these guys are ready day one unless we lucked up and get Lawrence.
Yeah.
Even him. Yeah. I mean, you just never know.
Real quick though, the thing with Fields, which I've been thinking the same thing.
Yeah.
I think a lot of like fans don't realize that these players watch college football. They have opinions. We have opinions on the quarterbacks coming in. So do they. And they play football and they really think they know and they do. So if like 70% of the Niners expect like, hey, we should take Justin Fields, and then he's on the board and they take Mac Jones, I think a lot of players in the Niners would look at Kyle Shanahan like, okay, well, we'll see.
Yeah, guys are not stupid.
They're not stupid.
They're not stupid. They know who can play and who can't play. That's not to say that Mac Jones can't play and he can't develop into somebody. But if you're in that locker room and they really like
what Mr. Sherman said. So,
I mean, those guys really like Jimmy Garoppolo in that locker room. Say what you want about him, whether he's inconsistent, whether he's always getting injured, whatever. When he's out there, guys want to play with him. And it's as simple as that.
Now, real quick, two things I noticed with that Richard Sherman thing. When asked about Trey Lance, he had nothing to say. So it's not like he's against Trey Lance. I just don't think he knows much about Trey Lance. The other thing is, if he likes Justin Fields that much, who's to say Robert Saleh doesn't? Because I saw Robert Saleh and Richard Sherman hanging out a ton on the practice field. Those guys were like best friends. It seemed like they see things like this. They go back to 2012 in Seattle. Maybe Robert feels the same exact way.
Dude, I'm kind of hoping your theory is true with the Jets taking Fields and us being able to draft Wilson. I mean, I like them both. I feel like both are 2A, 2B, having Trevor Lawrence be that one guy. But I feel like they could go either way. But I would love Zach Wilson if we could.
Before I let you go, Chris, who's been DMing me adamantly for weeks saying Wilson's going to the Jets. He says, love the show, but I'm NY based and JD loves Wilson. Jeremiah McShay and Baldy say write it in Sharpie. They are best friends with him. Zach has had multiple combos with Sam. Also, the Niners. Fields Lance. Look, man, I got my connections too. All right. And nothing is set in stone. Nothing is set in stone. Maybe the Jets are saying they like Zach Wilson so they can trade down with the Niners. If you want to trade down with the Niners, you got to say you like the person that everyone thinks you're going to take. It ain't set in stone, but Chris, if you're right, I owe you some props on the show. That's all I'm saying.
Anyone but Mac, dude. Anyone but Mac.
I see, man. Thanks for coming on the show, dude.
All right, take care, man.
Have a good one. All right. Michael, I'm going to get you in a minute. I got you yesterday. I got to get Superfan Shardal. What's up, Shardal? You're muted, baby.
I got two questions for you.
You always got two questions. I got two answers for you. Let's go.
My first question is, what are the thoughts of the San Francisco 49ers signing Nate Sudfeld to a 1-year deal after Eagles for 4 years?
I have no idea. It was the most baffling move of the offseason for the 49ers, other than trading up to the number 3 pick. Seems to me that they want a backup quarterback in case they get rid of Jimmy Garoppolo, but how is Nate Sudfeld better than Josh Rosen? I don't get it. All right, what's your other question?
And my second question is, do you think Kyle Trask is a good fit on the Saints?
Oh, hell yeah. I love Kyle Trask. I am adamant that Kyle Trask is better than freaking Mac Jones. And if Kyle Trask can split time with Taysom Hill on the Saints, he'll be terrific. Shardal, we got a big time echo, but it's always a pleasure. I'll see you soon. All right. Hold on. I want to get a couple more people that didn't go on yesterday, and then I'm going to come to other people. Benny.
So I wanted to come on and talk about Trey Lance. The thing that was most intriguing to me is that he rescheduled a pro day, and that was really cool because I think that I hope that if I were them, if Zach Wilson, I know this would sound crazy, but if Zach Wilson falls to us, I would still take Trey Lance.
Why?
Because I don't know, something about Zach Wilson makes me feel like even who was it? Eye Test said that the things about Josh Rosen and stuff, he just doesn't. He looks intriguing, but when you play at BYU, like it's a tough sell.
Yes, agreed.
And Trey Lance, like even though Carson, they're good. He's had a whole year to develop with coaches and stuff like that, so he is a little inexperienced, but I think Trey Lance would be more of that. Like, I think he would be the guy that even like he's still more experienced than we saw him in his sophomore year. Like, I feel like he's not as. I think he's gotten a lot better than he was. And then so I really liked Trey Lance because he's bigger also, and I think he has a stronger arm. And his pro day, I mean, I hope the 49ers see something out of him, and I hope Kyle Shanahan, like, I think we could get probably 5 weeks out of Jimmy Garoppolo. So I hope that Kyle Shanahan sees that maybe we can rest it. Like, wouldn't 5 weeks still do something?
Here's the way I look at it, man. Look, I think if you compare him to Josh Allen, that's the official NFL.com comparison for him. And that's rich because Josh Allen's great. But go back and look at what Josh Allen did as a rookie. He struggled, and that's okay because it worked out. But he went to a team with a new coaching staff that was rebuilding, and they weren't trying to win right away. If Kyle has a losing season next year, I think things get bad for him because it's year 5, and he's only had one winning season. He needs to win next year. So Trey Lance might be the right pick, but I feel like he's put himself in a position where he can't take him. The Jets could take him. He may not even be available when the Niners pick. That's the thing that was my epiphany when I woke up. I think the Jets are taking.
Well, for the Jets, he would have to start day 1.
Exactly, but the thing is, the Jets have a new coaching staff. They're expecting to lose this season, just like the Bills in 2018. They can say, you know what, Trey, go do what Josh Allen did for the Bills and learn on the job. And by year 3, we'll all be ready to.
Was Josh Allen from Kentucky?
No, Josh Allen's from over here by me. He's from Northern California. He's from the Central Valley, and he went to Wyoming.
But who did he play for?
Wyoming.
I feel like Trey Lance might have a little bit more experience. Well, how long did Josh Allen start for? Do you know?
Here's the thing: he had 2 years at Wyoming and a year at JUCO, man. So I'm telling you, Trey Lance is going to need a little time. He's cool though. He's really good. I think the Jets take him. That's my bold prediction that he won't even be there for the Niners. That the Jets take him.
Okay, I actually had the Trey Lance. Well, I liked the Justin Fields going to the Jets before you did because I was thinking when Richard Sherman. I think I did a video on this. I'm not sure, but I when Richard Sherman went on that interview and said that Justin Fields was going to that the 49ers should draft Justin Fields, I was wondering, is Robert Saleh thinking like that? And so I think Justin Fields actually has a better chance just because, I don't know, Robert Saleh, that's, I don't know.
And he's more ready to start right away, no doubt.
Well, yeah. And I mean, Trey Lance, though, I just hope that they see something at his pro day. And I feel like that to me, that he rescheduled the pro day, that means that they are very open-minded, and hopefully Kyle Shanahan's ready to maybe be open-minded, because focusing on one guy and Mac Jones is just stupid, because that's
how you make a bad choice.
Have you ever heard history repeats itself? Like,
I sure have, and it does.
And it does. Check out my mock draft me and Amin did yesterday. That was good.
Put it in the comment section, Benny. I heard you got game. Good stuff, dude. Later, man. All right. I'm still trying to get people. Waruna and Michael, I'm coming to you. Don't worry. What's up, Eric? Man, it's been a blast. I missed you yesterday. That was my bad. How you doing?
Yeah, don't worry. I'm doing okay.
Okay.
So I mean, I just feel like that Lance is I think he's a lot more ready than you might think.
Okay, fair enough.
Yeah, because
tell me why.
I it's not just the
Smart.
scheme that they run, but it's just I've watched his film and also his pro day film. It's like this guy's like totally just spot on, and he's very smart. So
That's
I
the
mean,
thing. Hard worker, smart guy. He should be
Yeah,
able to improve. He should be able to handle the learning curve.
and so I understand that he's saying, oh well, he has the highest upside, but and all this stuff. That kind of reminds me. I'm not saying that he is Brady, but Brady was said, hey, he's slow on reads, he's all on this and all these negatives. But then you put him in, even though Brady was there for like one or two seasons before he was starting. Again, I'm not comparing him to Brady. However, I'm saying he has.
But there were questions about Brady. Brady was a 6th-round pick, of course.
He was the 6th-round pick, but everybody knew that Brady had the smarts. Mm-hmm. And I'm like saying that's what's going to make Trey Lance a lot more catch on to and be a better fit with be a better fit with the Niners. It's what's upstairs, and he can scan the field. I know I watched that. There's some things that I watched your highlight your breakdown of him. He how he missed some things, but I saw everyone else miss some.
It's true. They're kids. They're kids. They're amateurs. There's no question about it, man. Yeah, he has the upside. He could do it. And the thing that's intriguing about him, I think, is how driven and smart he is. Do you really want to bet against a 6'5", 245-pound athlete who is that smart and that driven?
And it's that drive that's going to make him go above and beyond. So I mean, like you might. I think that's the only
final thing real quick before I let you go. Final thing is the thing about I love your comparison to Brady. It was really, really smart. The thing about it is I think Brady really benefited from that year on the bench. And I think Lance would benefit from it too. He could benefit from playing on the job, but I just don't think it would be pretty right away. But that's okay. I just feel like certain teams have to reconcile that. Like, are we cool to lose a little bit so we can win in 3 years? Or do we just want to sit him on the bench like the Patriots did with Brady? I got to take some more calls, though. That was a great point. Okay. Think about it. When I talk to you next time, I want you to tell me, is it best to let him sit for a year or best to let him play? Think about it.
Okay.
All right. I'll talk to you soon.
I will.
Have a good one, man. All right. Scott. I don't know Scott. Let's talk to Scott. What's up, Scott?
Hey, what's up, man?
How you doing?
Good. I'm kind of coming on to debunk some of your theories, actually.
Please do, man, because I'm lost over here, and I know you're a Jets fan. I could tell. I'm using my sixth sense right here.
Yes, sir.
My spider senses.
I'm going to take it back to the Wilson Pro Day to start.
Tell me.
There are 2 reports that came out, right?
Okay.
One report when you guys made the trade, you guys didn't talk to us, apparently.
Okay.
I don't buy it.
Okay.
There's no way. We had too many connections. Plus, if you're going to trade up for a quarterback, wouldn't you want to explore all your options and get the guy you really want?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, but that's not really the one. The second report came out that Philadelphia tried to trade up to 3.
Mm-hmm.
And you hinted at Joe Douglas' connection to Howie Roseman and the Eagles before.
Mm-hmm.
They wanted to trade up to 3 only if they could get Zach Wilson, was the report, though. Okay. So I don't think they would have not traded up if they had to know, like, oh, yeah, we're not going to be able to get that guy because he's going to 2. Not only that, but, I think you're right about nothing. These guys don't know nothing. Shepard doesn't know nothing. Samini, none of these guys know nothing. They just throw darts. See where they hit.
Hey, you make a compelling case, but my question to you is why hasn't it been reported yet? Why hasn't it been reported yet? Locked in reported.
I think from a Jets fan's perspective, Joe Douglas has been tight-lipped about anything. There are no leaks with this regime. All the free agents that they said we're going to get, we didn't get any of those guys. They said we're going to go sign Trey Hendrickson. We got Carl Lawson. They connected us to Juszczyk, all these guys, and none of them got. We ended up getting Corey Davis, Keelan Cole, when they thought we were going to go get Juju. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. There are no leaks in this regime. I don't think that.
Same with the Niners.
Yeah, 100%. But the other thing is Joe Douglas just had a press conference maybe like a week or two ago,
I
right?
saw that.
And he brought up like when Steve Young, he's like, oh yeah, Steve Young's connected to BYU. You know, he's at the point where after we traded Sam, there's no reason to be coy or to lie about.
I have a scenario. What if the Niners and the Jets have talked about a swap 2 for 3? The Niners did that with the Bears.
I heard that.
And the Niners want Zach Wilson. Or they don't. The Jets don't know who the Niners want. And the Jets want whoever. And they're just afraid. Yeah.
But one of the things that I don't know, Albert Breer from Sports Illustrated just had an interview with Douglas also. Came out with a great article. And one of the things that was interesting is that Douglas said in their evaluations, they had 2 quarterbacks that they liked. He specifically said 2. You got to assume one's Lawrence.
No doubt.
And the other one, who knows if it's Fields or Wilson. But if that's the case, you're not going to move out of 2 because that means you can guarantee you get your guy right there.
Unless you know the Niners aren't taking him. And that's where it gets tricky because there's a relationship there. That's where it gets tricky.
But
yeah.
From my perspective, I don't think you get cute. You know, I mean, when you're talking about the quarterback position, I mean, you could be right. And, you know, you can.
What I'm hearing you say is that the Jets don't leak, but they kind of want people to think they're taking Zach Wilson right now, but they haven't locked it in.
Yeah, it could be a smokescreen. You could be right.
We'll see. No, I hear you guys. Everyone's saying, Grant, you're overthinking it, and I probably am. But I hear you. All the people I'm talking to in the league say, hey, man, it is not a done deal.
Hey, from my perspective, I'd be happy with Fields. I like his upside. So if it is, you know, good for you guys, good for us.
Hey, well, thanks for calling in and giving
no problem,
throwing a little reality my way because we get crazy over here in the Bay.
All right, have a good one, bros.
Have you too, man. Later. All right. What's up, Jose? How you doing?
Hey, how's it going, Grant?
Good, man. How you doing?
I'm doing all right. So before I get started, I just wanted to do a shameless plug. So for everybody that don't know, because I haven't mentioned it before, I have a podcast called The Big Breakdown with Jose Ledesma. If you want to check it out, it's on all apps where podcasts are available, Spotify, Apple.
Put a link in the comment section, I would say.
Okay, yeah, I'll do that for sure.
Yep.
But so I think it's hilarious, man, that all these media people starting on Friday have all been backtracking now. It was Mac Jones. It was guaranteed Mac Jones. He's going to San Fran. He's going with Kyle. Now everybody's like saying, I don't know.
They're open-minded.
It could be Lance. Like it's hilarious to me that they're all backtracking.
Yeah.
Because I watched the interview with Matt Mayoko and Ian Rappaport, and he was like one of the first people that went on like NFL Network and was like, "Oh yeah, it's Mac Jones." And then now he's like, he was backsliding a lot.
See, to me, and again, the previous caller just says I'm wrong, but I think this whole "it's definitely Mac Jones" thing rests on the assumption that the Jets are taking Zach Wilson. Once that's not ironclad, who knows what the Niners are going to do? You don't even know what the Jets are going to do. Yeah.
Yeah, and that's funny you say that too, because obviously I don't know what the Jets are thinking. No one does, just like no one knows what the Niners are thinking. But an interesting perspective, I was watching Rich Eisen, who's a diehard Jets fan, and he was giving like kind of like the New York thought process about this whole situation. And they were making a lot of jokes about, like, has anybody from New York watched a BYU game? And they were like, why wouldn't you go with a proven commodity like a Justin Fields, who's been in national championships, who's been in the playoffs 2 years in a row?
Hey, why do you think Miami drafted Tua instead of Herbert? Because no one in Miami had ever heard of Herbert, and Tua's a celebrity in the South. And these things happen all the time. Why do you think the Rams drafted Jared Goff over Carson Wentz? Because Jared Goff's a celebrity in California, and no one had heard of Carson Wentz. These are ownership decisions. Ownership comes in on these things.
So basically, also another thing too is whoever we draft at that 3 pick, whether it's Wilson, Trey Lance, Mac Jones, even whoever it's going to be, my biggest issue with is going to be with Kyle, because is he going to really put it this way, like the quarterbacks with the most success especially when they're in their rookie contracts is coaches that adjust to what they do well.
Yeah, go be an athlete, and I'll help you out a little bit.
Yeah. Exactly. So is Kyle going to really adjust his offense to really help out this young quarterback, whoever it's going to be? Because that's what the great coaches do. That's what Andy Reid did with Mahomes. That's what the Chargers did with Herbert last year.
That's why I'm not an only Shan. I like his play designs, but he's far too rigid. He's much more faithful to his dad's scheme and what he thinks works than what is pragmatic for his players. So I'm not an only Shan. Sorry.
Yeah. And then my other thing too that I was gonna mention was dang it, I lost my train of thought.
See, it was my fault. I talked over you.
No, you're good, man. You're good. That's what it was. So let's be honest, really, when it comes to these quarterbacks, what really separates them? Because I don't think any of these top quarterbacks that are being mentioned have much separation at all. I mean, Trevor Lawrence, you can say he's the top flight guy, but he hasn't really played as well as he did his freshman year at Clemson when they won the national championship over Alabama. I don't think he's played as high as that level since then. You can say maybe that's the talent around him or whatnot, but besides Lawrence, I mean, let's be honest, what really separates these quarterbacks? To say one's better than the other and that one deserves a second
preference,
or third
personal preference.
Right.
Personal preference.
I mean, and I say that because
they're all inexperienced. Yeah.
Right. Like, because Trey Lance and Mac Jones are both 1 year starters.
Yep.
And Fields and Lawrence, who can argue be the 1 and 2 or even swap them, have 2 to / 3 years of starting. Mm-hmm. So, I mean, overall experience, I think, can be overrated depending on where they're at and whatnot, unless you're Mac Jones, and Mac Jones is just overall overrated. So, but yeah, man.
Because the other ones all have tools and they're athletes, but yeah, I hear you, man. Hey, well, me and you after the draft on your channel.
Yep, as well.
That's right.
One more time, if you don't mind. So, yeah, it's called The Big Breakdown with Jose Ledesma. I'll definitely put it in the comment section as well. Have a good day.
Man. Great to see you, man. Of course. All right, Varun, you're up, man. Thanks for waiting. Then Michael, after you. Michael says, did the Niners say they were taking QB in round 1, or did they say they were drafting a QB? If the latter, that means Pitts and Mon Mills is available. I wish, man. I wish. But I think what they said was there are 3 quarterbacks they really like. And I think the interpretation is that one of those 3 will be available with a 3rd pick. If I'm wrong, please correct me. Tim says the only reason why they went to Bama's pro day was to talk to Bill about Jimmy. Follow Peters and the staff, the real brains of the draft. All right, maybe. You think Bill still wants Jimmy? You do? You do, though? Hey, Varun, thanks for waiting, man. I appreciate it. You're always number 1. You're always first on the draw. You're like Billy the Kid out here in Wild West. Just anyway, good to see you.
Totally understand. No worries.
Yeah.
So quick questions today. So first thing.
Yes.
If we trade Kyle Shanahan away for draft picks with Minnesota Vikings, will Vikings win Super Bowl within next 2 years or 3 years?
No. I'm not that big of a Kyle Shanahan fan. He does a lot of great things. He's been in the Super Bowl 2 years. He's found ways to lose them. I'm not sold. So yeah. And the thing about trading Kyle Shanahan, I don't think has there been a quarterback, a head coach trade since Gruden?
I don't think so.
How many first round picks did the Raiders get for Gruden? Was it 3? It might have been 3.
Remember, sorry.
Hey man, if it's 3, that's the beautiful thing about the position the Niners are in. If they ever feel like Kyle Shanahan isn't going to get it done, or is a fraud, or you don't need to cut him, you don't need to fire him, trade him, get those first round picks, and get the coach you want. That is, I think, the most intriguing thing about the cult of Shanahan. He's worth draft picks, a lot of them.
Yes, so the second question is,
okay,
even though fans believe that 49ers are on a Super Bowl run this year, are they really into a mini rebuild?
The Niners aren't willing to admit a rebuild, so why would the fans? When you sign like 10 players who are going to be 30 or plus next season, you're telling your fan base, your season ticket subscribers, your locker room, the expectation is for us to compete this year. So it doesn't mean they will, but they're not exactly building for the future. I mean, they don't have any defensive backs that are good who are younger than 30. I mean, Jimmy Ward, Jaquiski Tartt, all these guys are old.
Yes.
So, but I mean, they should be rebuilding.
Yes, definitely rebuilding because they are saving this season and rebuilding.
Right.
Then third question is what would be the most lethal combination out of following? First one is Andy Reid head coach, Robert Saleh defensive coordinator, or Bruce Arians head coach, Kyle Shanahan the offensive coordinator. What would be the most lethal?
Kyle Shanahan. That's assuming that Kyle Shanahan will fall into a subordinate position. He won't. He won't.
Assuming it happens.
So he won't. So what I'm saying is it would be an untenable relationship. Okay. There would be conflict. Conflict is the word. Robert Saleh is much more I mean, first of all, there would be no conflict between Andy Reid and Robert Saleh because they coach different sides of the ball. Andy Reid is also, I mean, Robert Saleh is much more diplomatic with the way he deals with people. It's not like my way or the highway. It's, you know, I'm very confident in what I'm doing, but I'm working for you and whatever you want. I think a lot of people could work with Robert Saleh. I don't think a lot of people can work with Kyle Shanahan. Kyle is the kind of guy who needs to be the CEO of the operation. You know what I mean? So that's the way I read him.
Yes.
Good question, though. Go ahead. Final question.
One last question. So name one thing that you thought would be impossible before starting of the 2020 season, but now has become a reality or can become a reality.
That they're going to have their 4th losing season in 5 years.
Okay.
After 2019, no one thought that they were going to like revert to being bad, and they could really do that. They're bringing back their entire 2020 team and banking on the fact that last season was a fluke. What if it wasn't? What if this is the team? They're just a older, broken down, injury-prone team that needs to be rebuilt. What if that? I mean, they really could be looking at 4 seasons of 5 years. What about you? What do you think?
My answer is that Bruce Arians can be a Hall of Fame.
Yeah, it's true. All of a sudden, Kyle, that could have been Kyle's legacy if he had brought Tom Brady in. But again, now they're making this The funny thing is, Bill Belichick and Kyle Shanahan, 2 of the smartest coaches in the league, both didn't want Tom Brady. And they're making freaking Bruce Arians look like a genius. I mean, Bruce Arians. Are you kidding me? Looks like a genius. All because he's just chilling there like, yeah, man, you coach the team.
And he has grown.
You go ahead and coach that gosh darn team. I'm just going to be over here just hanging out, right? It's like, great, Bruce. That's smart. Yes, let Tom Brady do it, man. That's the smartest thing. You know, maybe he is a genius. Maybe Bruce Arians is a genius. I like Bruce. Hey, Runa, thanks for waiting, man. I appreciate it.
Thanks a lot.
Good stuff. All right, Michael. What do you think? Is Bruce Arians a genius or not?
No, because I wanted Tom Brady before he did. And we'd have had a first-round pick for Jimmy G. So
that's right.
Because he was offered last year for it, you know. No, it was either Adam Scheffler or Ian Rappaport this morning said that the Niners did not contact the Rams for the number 2 spot, period. That they went straight to number 3.
The Jets. Okay.
They didn't the Jets. Yeah. They didn't contact the Jets for the number 2 spot. So there's we're thinking there's something up with that. You know, why not give an extra third round pick? You go ahead and get the second
I don't think the Jets want to move down that far. The Jets, here's the thing about the Jets. The Jets have a ton of picks, not just this year and next year. They don't need more. They don't need to go from 2 to 12. 2 to 3, okay, but they don't need a lot of picks. Keep that in mind.
Yeah. I just think there's something up there. I mean,
possible.
You know, there's Jimmy G maybe to move up to second. I don't know. I don't,
Ooh, I hadn't thought of that.
Why is our linebacker not re-signed yet either? But Jimmy G to the second.
Let's stay with that because I'm thinking if you look at the trade value chart, the difference in points between pick 2 and pick 3 is about 400, I think. And that's about
it's 400
exactly. Yeah. And that's about the worth of the 43rd pick. So I was thinking the Niners have to flip that second rounder, but a lot of people also think that Jimmy's worth it too. So I mean, Warner's worth a lot more than
why is the Jets not came out and signed another quarterback now that they gave away their only starter, really?
Good question. So hold on.
Do they know that Jimmy's coming?
This is clever. Everyone's looking at Jimmy going back to the AFC East, and he might. But people are thinking New England, they don't need Jimmy. They have Cam. The Jets need Jimmy. The Jets have Jimmy's former passing game coordinator, Mike LaFleur. Might work. Maybe
Robert who else is on the Jets that can actually that has started the game?
Especially if they really do want to take Trey Lance. I mean, that's all the more reason to have Jimmy Garoppolo.
Yeah.
Maybe draft day, it's the number 3 pick in Jimmy to the Jets for number 2. And if the Niners and Jets are planning something like that, then of course Adam Schefter and Ian Rappaport don't know who they're going to take because there's an upcoming trade on the book on deck. That could explain why everyone's.
There's going to be some way we get number 2 pick, and I promise you that it's coming. That's
your bold prediction that the Niners are going to end up picking 2 and the Jets are going to move down. I I think so too. I think there's something to that. And the Jets just have to be careful. They don't really know who the Niners want. It could be Zach Wilson, but what if it's Trey?
I think they know exactly. There's too many friendship right there. I mean, Rollins. I mean, you know, there's something inside going on with this, big time. So
maybe
Lance highlight videos, right? Yeah. I just think
was 2 years ago. He was 19 years old, and the thing is, you talk about like Ohio State and Alabama have no track record developing quarterbacks. Well, North Dakota State developed Wentz. He got hurt. He was good before he got hurt. So hard to say.
I mean, he was on track to throw 40 some TDs or 50 TDs that year.
Better quarterback than any Ohio State guy ever. So something
nobody's ever came from Ohio State.
Ever. And it's not a coincidence. There's got to be something. It's not that because they recruit well. They just don't prepare these kids. It's too bad.
Remember this though,
when you saw Tim Tebow come into the league with that stupid thing, it was like, do they even coach mechanic? I know that was Urban Meyer in Florida, but same thing. Anyway.
Yeah. Is history going to be changed and the Jets are finally going to get a pick right? I don't think so.
No, absolutely not.
They're not.
Absolutely not.
So they're not going to pick the best quarterback. It's just not going to happen. They're going to pick a bust, and most likely, who I think it is, Trey Lance, but not Trey Lance, Justin Fields. Yeah, I just don't see him hitting on the best guy in the draft.
Jets. That's what they do.
It's what they do. Yeah. So, yeah, I just wanted to mention that where they said that the Niners did not even ask the Jets about that pick. Period. So,
interesting.
Just wanted to mention that. Yeah.
Thank you, man.
It was on this morning. So
it's hard to keep up with the East Coast news, but that's what I need you for, man. Where are you calling from, by the way? You told me before. Where are you calling from?
Chester, Virginia. Yeah, I'm way out here on the East Coast. Yeah.
All right, man. Well, thanks for calling. I'll talk to you soon. All right.
Appreciate it. Thank you.
Lee, you're next. Just real quick, let me take these things. Let me see your best Diz face, Grant. I try. I was in high school during the Fizz era. It was funny going to UCLA too, though. The kids from Southern California didn't get the whole hyphy movement thing, and then they would just put on "Tell Me When to Go" by E40, and we were like, everyone knows that song. Yoel says, Grant, I live in Sweden and don't know the politics in the Bay, but why are all the reporters cowards? Ask straight questions at a press conference. Oh, I didn't. Wow, really escalated there. It's a great question. I love the 49ers beat writer, so I'm not going to slam them. But what I will say is it's a West Coast thing, man. You're from Sweden. West Coast people just don't say what they mean. They're not direct. When they say, hey, what's up? That's really screw you. I don't like you. It's kind of how we do out here. The East Coasters are the blunt, direct ones. My dad is that way. He asks questions in about 8 words or less. I love that. I try to be that way too. That's how I was raised. But most West Coast people beat around the bush endlessly. It's just the way we are. Not the way I am, though, because I'm way cooler than everyone. All right, Lee, what's up?
Yo, what's up, Grant? Morning.
How you doing, man? Good to see you.
Good. I just want to talk to you about the quarterbacks. You know how there's 5 top guys. Who do you think are the 2 that are most likely to bust out of these top 5?
That is the best question. That is the best question because most of these guys bust in round 1. Okay, let me say it. Lance Fields. Lance, because he has no reps. He's gonna if he had been drafted in round 2 or round 3 and there were less expectations and he could mature slowly, I think he has something. Fields, because I think there's something about that Ohio State program that really sets back the growth of quarterbacks and gets guys drafted high because they throw 40 touchdown passes and stuff, but it never matters. Again, or if Mac Jones gets taken top 5, he would be another one. I mean, really, what do you think?
Yeah, I agree with you. I think it's Lance. I think it's Lance because he just doesn't have the experience. And if you're picking him this early, you're throwing him into a position where I think he's not ready for it.
Agree.
He played, at a school and in a conference that's lower than all these other guys. He hasn't played the competition. He's never been relied on to carry a team with his arm. He's also a running quarterback. True. And that's a thing that he's not probably going to have the same success in the NFL unless they build a system around like they did with Lamar Jackson. And even then, he's not as agile as Lamar Jackson. No. You know what I mean?
And the key point that you made is never carried a team with his arm. I mean, geez. Dak Prescott did. Patrick Mahomes did. Deshaun Watson did. I mean, whoever you're comparing, Josh Allen did. So whoever you're comparing Trey Lance to, it's a tough comparison.
Yeah, and he sort of reminds me of like a poor version of Cam Newton, but at least Cam Newton did it with the Auburn team and won a national championship, right? You know, he played against top competition. Then I think Mac Jones, depending where he goes, he's solid, but if he goes in the top 5, then there's just huge expectations on him. You know, at Alabama, he had all the weapons. He had Najee Harris, you know, top 2 running back. He had Devonta, the Slim Reaper. He had Waddle. You know, and he had so much talent, good O-line, good defense, great coaching. So he was in the perfect, you know, fit in college. And that's why I think, like, you know, I'm a big Justin Fields fan, like Vish and a lot of other fans. I just see him as being, that's the guy you go for. It's BPA, you know, when you're picking at the top of the draft and you've given up like 4 picks to get this quarterback, you got to go after the most talented guy. He's the smartest. He's shown he's super smart, super athlete, accurate arm, can play in the pocket or outside. It can extend plays. He's just got like so much upside that he could make this, you know, offense go to another level. And that's why I think I'll be really disappointed if they pass on him and they take Mac Jones, because it doesn't seem like a big upgrade to me over Jimmy and what we currently can do.
All I can say is the people I trust in the league do not think the Niners are taking Mac Jones. No one knows, but the people I trust in the league, their best guess is they're not going to do it. It's career suicide. You can't do it. It's career suicide, even if your name is Kyle Shanahan. So
yeah, if you look at like all the scouts, most scouts, like, you know, you're like guys like Middlecoff, Bucky Brooks, most of those guys are all saying, you know, you just take Justin Fields. It's not even a hard decision. You take the guy that's the most talented at that pick, you know. And if Lawrence and Wilson go, then you got Fields, Mac Jones. A lot of people aren't even picking Mac Jones to go in the top 10 picks if the Niners pass on him. You know what I mean?
Yeah, absolutely. Yep.
And that would be the extremely hard selling to the our fan base if Kyle goes, you know, he's what I've worked with and what I've won with. It's just gonna, it's gonna be crazy if that is the
It'll
pick.
be bad. It'll be the least, it'll be the most somber day in Northern California. Like, oh no, it's true. Anyway, Lee, I hope you have a good Sunday. It's Monday over there, man, right? You got work today?
Yeah, Monday morning.
Nice.
No, I'm off today. Thanks, thanks, Grant.
Well, thanks for calling in, man. Good to see you, man. All right.
Cheers.
I'm gonna jump around a little bit. Niner by Nature is giving me like $100 today, man. What's up, man? How you doing?
How you doing? All right.
Good, man.
Hey, thank you for this platform. I want to thank you for this platform for all Niners fans to come on to express our feelings regarding to this draft, regarding to how we feel about this football team, this organization. I want to thank you for your time and your hard work, man. You've been doing a great job, man. You're doing a really great job. Even though I don't agree with everything you say. But,
I don't expect you to, man. I don't expect
you know, but I respect it at the end of the day. You know, first of all, I want to say a lot of people talking about Trey Lance and how he does have a high buzz factor, but the thing regarding to Trey Lance is that out of all the 5 quarterbacks that's being talked about right now, Trevor Lawrence, Zach Wilson, Mac Jones, Justin Fields, Trey Lance is the least person that's being talked about right now.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that regarding to him being the least talked about, I think that Kyle Shanahan gonna look at that and draft him. And the reason why I think he's gonna draft Trey Lance, because Trey Lance runs the same system, a similar system to
just
Kyle
like Bether
Shanahan.
did. Just like Bether did coming out.
Just like Bether.
That's important to Shanahan and his dad. Of course, but they want to see you in that system, even though other coaches don't scout that way.
Right.
Yeah.
And if you look at, I watch a lot of film. JT O'Sullivan, Wahlberg. I watch a lot of film, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I do my own field work. It's just little things about Trey Lance that he could fix. You know, his up and down motion, that when he come out of his drop, dovetail. He does a great dovetail. I mean, he has a great arm talent. This guy, man, I think that if you put him in Kyle Shanahan offense, let him sit for 1 year, learn his system, he's gonna be great. I mean, him and his brother had Ivy League scholarships to go to school. So he's smart. He's smart up here. He's really smart. And on top of that, his coach, I think his OC and his quarterback coach are both NFL quarterbacks and running backs.
Yep.
So they're teaching this guy how to be an NFL quarterback from the beginning.
It's true. Only thing I would say is all the things you just said. If the Niners feel that way, wouldn't the Jets feel that way too? Same offense. And I feel like Trey Lance is the kind of guy Robert Saleh would love. Robert Saleh, I feel like, discovered Fred Warner and developed him. And I feel like all the things people say about Trey Lance are very Fred Warner-ish. Like, well, Fred Warner no one really thought he could be a middle linebacker. He hadn't really played that position, but so gifted, so smart, such a hard worker. You could kind of project that he could do whatever he wanted to do. And that seems like what people think of Trey Lance.
Okay.
He can do whatever he wants to do.
You're right. So if you say that, but wouldn't Robert Saleh say, okay, Fred Warner is from BYU, Zach Wilson's from BYU too. They got the same. They come from the same school. So I
the thing about Trey Lance and Justin Fields compared to Zach Wilson is Trey Lance and Justin Fields are more athletic. Like Zach Wilson is good. I mean, he's quick for a little guy, but I mean Trey Lance, if they're going for like the best athlete, then they're gonna go that direction.
Did you see this dude body, man? It's crazy, man. I'm so jealous.
It's unreal. I didn't, because when you watch his highlights, you don't realize it's 2019 and he's 19. And you see him at the podium, you're like, wait a second, that's not the guy on tape. Whoa,
that's what I'm saying.
Yeah, I mean, even Justin Fields doesn't look like that.
No. If I'm Jimmy G, just say we draft at 3 Fields, Lance, I'm Jimmy G. I'm looking to my left, like.
Oh no!
You know, come on.
You know what I mean? Oh man, it's a matter of time. It's a matter of time.
Exactly. Hey, one more thing. I'm not going to keep you long. I'm not going to keep you long, Grant. I'm the one that sent you the money regarding to the stream. It's called the 49ers First Take. His name is Aaron, and he's the host of the whole. It's his YouTube channel. I'm actually helping out. Cool. Hey, I sent you an email if you can, man. If we can get an interview with you, that'd be great, man. Whenever you have time.
Oh, I just got it from you. Yep, this is Niner. I got you, man. Let's do it. I'll respond. We'll work it out.
I appreciate that, bro.
Looking forward to it, man.
Hey, thank you, bro.
Good call.
All right, take care.
Grant, what's good, man?
What's up, Mose? How you doing?
I'm good. I wanted to come on. I wanted to, piggyback on something Amin said yesterday, and then what you said today. Because I need to be talked off a ledge. There he is. There he is. Man, but it's this whole idea of public opinion, right?
Okay.
It's a majority of the faithful. We don't want Kyle to take Mac Jones.
It's clear.
Most of us know that Kyle is a stubborn head coach.
Oh yeah.
So I'm feeling what you're saying, and it's helping me when you say that your sources feel, they don't know, but they feel like Mac Jones is not going to be the pick, but we don't know.
No one knows. Yeah.
But my thing is this: if you take Mac Jones and it fails, like you said, it's career suicide, and the fans are going to hate you.
Oh yeah.
If you take Trey Lance or Justin Fields, or say Zach Wilson falls to us if the Jets take Fields, and it doesn't work out, you can say, look, I tried it with a different style quarterback than what I'm used to, and it didn't work. We can try something else.
Yeah.
I feel like it would be in his best interest to go that way instead of doing what is typical for him and going with Jimmy G 2.0. Like, what do you feel, honestly, is the percentage that Kyle would acquiesce to public opinion and not take Mac Jones?
Well, not just public opinion, but what if the entire scouting staff wants Trey Lance or Justin Fields? What if Jed York wants Trey Lance or Justin Fields, and the only person in the organization that wants Mac Jones is Kyle? And people respect Kyle, and they're like, man, Kyle, if you really want Mac Jones, we'll take him. But you just need to know that none of us agree with you, and the entire fan base will be angry. So maybe Kyle says, all right, you know what, fine. I'll take who you guys want, but I am washing my hands of responsibility this pick. If he doesn't work out, everyone needs to know it was John Lynch's call or it was Jed York's call. I do not want to be held responsible if this doesn't work out. Is that possible? I don't know. Does that work that way? I don't know. Could.
Not to say anything negative about Kyle and to put this on him, but if Kyle is the guy who we think he is, if he has the ego that we think he does, to me that would make sense. To me that he would go along with it.
Fine.
And just like in Washington, when RG3 didn't work out because of injuries, if Trey Lance or Justin Fields don't work out because they're not ready, they don't have it, then he can say, look, I tried.
This is what's going to happen. This is what's going to happen. Oh my God. Okay. So here's what's going to do. They're going to take Justin Fields. They're going to take Justin Fields at 3. And then in round 4, they're going to draft another quarterback. No, round 3. They're going to draft 2 quarterbacks just like they did in Washington, and then be like, well, okay, that's Kyle's guy.
And I really feel like it
That's
could be
happen.
Washington all over again.
I think you're right. He's going to give the scouting staff, the fans, the ownership, the quarterback they want. And he says, just let me draft 1 more quarterback this year. And it's going to be Washington all over again. I cannot wait, man. Thank you for giving this epiphany to all this. Exactly what's going to happen. It's 100% what's going to happen. Great stuff.
Yo,
hey,
Grant, man,
you emailed me, right?
I did.
I'll get back to you.
Email you.
I'll get back to you. I'm getting a little swamped from emails these days. I promise I will get back to you. I promise
popular guy. Everybody wants to have you. I sent you an email.
I promise. We'll work. We'll do it.
I know. I
can tell that you're a pro, man. Good stuff.
Appreciate you, Grant.
All right, for sure. All right. Let me get back to the line. Rico, I see you waiting for about an hour and a half. What's up, man?
Hey, how's it going?
Good. How you doing?
Good. Yeah, I think as far as talking about Matthew Stafford, based on their press conference, it seemed like early on in free agency, they were not in win now mode. And then because they ended up, signing back all these guys, they kind of
don't go too hard after Stafford because you don't know what your team's going to look like. And then all of a sudden, I see what you're saying.
Yeah. So maybe that's why they didn't go out, looking back now with 2020 vision, obviously he'd probably be,
perfect.
Yeah. But
perfect. Yeah.
But yeah, basically
that's smart.
My comment is I saw this thing that Colin Cowherd put out, and he predicted that he knew obviously most first round QBs are busts, but he predicted which ones he thought would work. And he said he thinks
because his track record's so freaking good. Okay, keep going.
Yeah, he was saying that he predicts that the 2 QBs that'll work are Trevor Lawrence and whoever the 49ers pick. And he was basically saying that, he just thinks that going to Kyle Shanahan is such a good situation that
when did he say this? When did he say this?
I think I saw it on like a YouTube post.
Because the thing is, a couple of days ago, he said if the Niners take Mac Jones, that it's the equivalent of the Niners taking Mitchell Trubisky, and that Kyle Shanahan would officially become the next Matt Nagy. So it seems like Cowherd wants it both ways right here.
Yeah, maybe.
It'll work out as long as it's not Mac Jones.
Yeah, I mean, but I was just thinking, do you think it's possible that the reason why most first-round QBs do bust is because they go to bad situations like the Jets and stuff, and that maybe Kyle Shanahan, he can make it work with whoever he picks.
There's never one reason, but yes, a lot of it has to do with where they end up. But a lot of it has to do with the expectations, how mature they're young, how they handle money, how they handle pressure, how they handle criticism, all that stuff. It's hard to tell with a 20, 21, 22-year-old kid, but good question, man.
Yeah. I mean, I used to be in the camp that thinks like, oh, how there's the record where Jimmy's like 22-7,
22-8.
And then, Kyle with everyone else is like 5-30 or whatever.
The only one who's close to that is Matt Ryan at 19-13. 19-13, that's it. They had one good year together.
Yeah. I mean, I used to be in the camp that just proves how good Jimmy is. But I mean, does anyone really think that Jimmy's a top 10 QB?
No. But the thing is, Kyle, he's worked with at least 10 quarterbacks, probably more. And he doesn't have a good track record with anyone really other than Matt Ryan and Jimmy Garoppolo. He's worked with some backups. But when people say like Cowherd, like whoever the Niners get is going to work out, I think it's fair to be skeptical of that. I think it's fair. It's not like CJ worked out.
Yeah, but I mean, but based
Brian
on
Hoyer,
how 2020 was, it's pretty clear that like CJ and Nick, I mean, they just have no business even being a starter in the league. So maybe if you at least give Kyle someone who's at least, first round caliber, that he could make that work compared to someone like CJ who was just, I mean, 3rd or 4th round pick,
Well, Browns gave Kyle Shanahan Johnny Manziel. It didn't work out. But Johnny Manziel had his own issues, I guess. Rico, thanks for calling in, man. Sorry to make you wait so long.
Yeah, definitely.
All right, take care. Should I let the Bay Area baller on the show? I don't know, man. I just don't know. Has he been a baller recently? What's up, dude? Hey, nice hoops mixtape. I like the way that you keep the ball high in the lane. You look like you played in high school, man. Huh? Oh yeah, that's the kind of stuff I cannot do. I'll tell you that. I'll just park by the 3-point line, being like, "Hey, let me miss this 3. Throw it over to me," until you just stop passing to me because you realize I'm not gonna hit that shot. That's how I play. But my defense is all right. I move my feet. I played soccer. What's up, man?
What up, Grant? Thanks for checking that out. Hey, I want to shout out all the Cohn heads in the chat.
because the chat is wild,
It's
and
wild.
I love it. You've built a whole community, and it's fun to interact with a lot of these guys.
Yeah, absolutely.
Hey, Grant, if you had a free bet, whether it's $100 bet, $1,000 bet on who the 49ers are going to pick at 3, I'm putting you on the spot. You got a free bet. Who are the Niners picking at 3?
Ooh. Look, I'm saying no matter where they pick, they might trade up to 2, but they're going to get Zach Wilson. That's my prediction.
I hope you're right. I love Zach Wilson. Now, let me tell you who I think it's going to be.
Okay.
And it's not who I want, but it's who I think. And that's Mac Jones. And I'm basing it off Adam Schefter was on the radio show just last week, and they asked him, they said,
it's going to be Mac Jones. Now, he walked it back today. He walked it back today. He went on Matt Mayoko's podcast and said if he still had to guess, he would say Mac Jones. But he says that the Niners are open-minded. Whatever that means. Open-minded. But still, I mean, it's not much of a walk back.
Yeah, the radio show that I heard when it was Tuesday or Wednesday, he sounded confident. It'll be Mac Jones.
Yep.
So that makes me nervous. If it was anyone else, if it's Daniel Jeremiah, Bucky Brooks, whoever, I could say, you know what, I don't believe it. But when Adam Schefter is the most reliable source, in my opinion. You know, I got notifications on for 3 guys: Grant Cohn, Adam Schefter, and Adrian Wojnarowski. Right?
Thanks, man.
Hey,
and Jeff Hardison. I seen you guys working.
Yeah, me and Jeff.
What's up, Jeff? How you doing?
There it is. There's the man.
Hey, he's got the microphone
Jeff?
too. Jeff, I'm gonna get back to you, man.
Yeah, me and Jeff just put out a video on who we want to pick round 1 through round 7 on my channel, Bay Area Baller 18.
Yeah.
And check that out. But Grant, when we draft Mac Jones, Jimmy's got to go. And here's what I'm thinking. If you go into a season under the cap, correct me if I'm wrong, but the cap difference rolls over to the next.
Does.
So we could save buku dollars by cutting Jimmy, bringing on Mac Jones, and we can set ourselves up for the future so well. And we signed another quarterback, right? Stidham. It's like we got all these quarterbacks. Jimmy's going to be gone.
Yep. I feel you.
Hey, you know, that's all I got to say. I want to keep it short and sweet. Check out my channel on YouTube, Bay Area Baller 18.
Conehead.
You're the man. Hey, the Conehead's in the chat. It's wild.
Hey, go have a great day. It's a nice sunny day out here in the Bay, man. Go do something ballerish, something extra manish, man.
You too. All right, great.
All right, man. Later. Liam, baby, what's up?
Oh, what's up?
How you doing?
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I hear you good. Can you hear me?
Perfect. All right, hold on. Yeah. So quick question. You went to O'Dowd, right?
Yeah. Did you?
I went to Sarah. So.
Oh, nice. Because I've had 2 O'Dowd kids call me in. So keep going. Sorry.
My one question is, why aren't you like slamming the table for Elijah Vera Tucker and Devon Howland?
Did they go to Sarah or they go to O'Dowd?
They went to O'Dowd.
They went to O'Dowd?
Yeah.
Elijah Vera Tucker went to O'Dowd.
And I'm pretty sure they're on the state championship team.
Shows what I know, man. Was Napoleon Kaufman the coach of that team, or is he still there?
Hey, I don't.
I'm supposed to know, right?
Yeah.
Elijah Vera Tucker went to O'Dowd. Wow.
Yeah.
Stephen King went to O'Dowd. He's the corner on the Packers. He gets roasted by the Niners every time they play him. But hey, I had no idea. Hey, go Dragons! Yay! nice.
Yeah,
I know that Tom Brady and Barry Bonds and a lot of great players went to.
It goes
probably a better alumni than O'Dowd has, but we have Brian Shaw. So.
Yeah. So my little proposition is that we pull some draft, or like have you seen the movie Draft Day?
Yes.
Honestly, I think the smartest move is actually a trade down.
Okay.
It's because you have the Bears. Let's be honest, the Bears are desperate.
Yes.
They almost traded a whole team for Russell Wilson. They almost gave three firsts and all that. And with a quarterback like Justin Fields or Trey Lance is right there, is because the reality is they aren't going to go like a guy like Mac Jones. Like I'm sorry, like McCorkle flipping DUI and everything. He isn't going to go into probably to late first. Like that's just the reality of it. because the media's gonna just start turning on him just like that quickly. They're gonna be like, oh, like he went like crazy and all that. The next thing I know, it's like, oh, sort of a little bit like cancel culture. I'm like, oh, he had a DUI, so he's undraftable. Or
I don't think they can sell him to the fan base. I think the Niners are learning like every day. Hey, Kyle, this is what your fans think of Mac Jones. So I'm with you on that. I think it's becoming almost undoable. Even if they want to do it, I don't think they can. But I just looked up Elijah Vera Tucker. Wow, he did go to O'Dowd. You were right about that, man. Wow.
He's also really good. Like
really good.
Like before he traded, I was like sort of down if we started drafting him because he could play right tackle, guard. Is because
I got to make sure that the Niners draft Elijah Vera Tucker because they don't have a source on the team. I'll be like, dude, I went to O'Dowd too. Let me get this
also
inside
Javon
scoop
Howland.
Javon Howland
for KT Prep. They're really good. 7-on-17.
How you spell that?
Javon Howland or KT Prep.
Javon Howland. Oh, I see it. So you telling me he went to O'Dowd too?
Mm-hmm. And he was really good in high school. Like he played receiver. Right. He was like two-way. Really good.
All right, man. Well, hey, appreciate you, man. Thanks for coming on.
Also, what? I need one of these. Hold on.
Is it from 19? Hey, that was the first game I remember watching, man. Basically,
yeah,
1995.
And I wasn't born yet, but I need one
How
of those.
old are you?
19.
Oh, well, respect, man. Have a good one, man. Have a good weekend.
Too. Thank you.
All right, take care. Anoop, what's up?
Hey, what's up, man? How are you?
What's going on? Good, man. How are you?
I'm doing well. I'm really thrilled with the Niners offseason so far, as long as they make the right decision here.
Okay.
I think free agency was a huge success. I was scared they were going to lose half the team or something like that. That would have been really tough.
Yes.
They got everyone. I think the Falcons are on the clock. I think there's 3 star quarterbacks here, and they're all going to go to their respective teams. There won't be any shuffling. So Lawrence to the Jags, Wilson to the Jets, and Trey Lance to the Niners. I think Trey Lance has potential superstar qualities with his temperament. I think Kyle likes him because he's going to be extremely durable. I mean, he hits and runs like a linebacker. He's really strong. I think Mac Jones is disinformation, and Justin Fields has flaws in his game that are not going to translate well to San Francisco. He holds onto the ball too long. He takes too many sacks. Yes. He comes up with some dynamic, huge flash plays.
He does.
But he also goes backwards a lot. I don't think Kyle will be happy with that sort of temperament.
I agree with you.
Trey Lance is going to need a year, though. They may need to end up keeping Jimmy for a year.
Yeah.
But, I think you were onto something early in the show. I think they might take 2 quarterbacks. They could go Trey Lance and Kyle Trask, for example. That would be really interesting.
Go on. Okay, I like what you're.
If they did that, they'd have to trade Jimmy. They could trade Jimmy. 2 teams, I think, would take Jimmy: the Patriots and the Redskins. The Redskins would be dangerous with Jimmy.
Yes.
I think if he stays healthy, he could be really good. I think.
And as a previous caller said, maybe the Jets.
Right. Absolutely.
Maybe.
So I don't think Belichick wants to wait around to groom a rookie. I don't think he has the time. He's up there in his age and his career. So we'll see how that goes. But I think the draft is really important. There's some stellar offensive tackles. There's some really good cornerbacks and secondary safeties to be had. The Niners need to hit on some late round picks. And if they do all that, and they get a good running back, maybe Travis Etienne, or there's a bunch of good ones here. They could be back in contention this year.
Absolutely. Well, look, I'm with you on that. I think Trey Lance is ahead of Justin Fields on the Niners draft board. And so yesterday when I was saying, well, I think the Jets would take Justin Fields, and then I was like, well, the same logic applies. Why would they like Justin Fields better than Trey Lance? Maybe Trey Lance is going to go number 2 to the Jets. Wouldn't that be wild? No one expects it, but it could happen.
That could happen. I think they're in love with Zach Wilson. Zach Wilson's got he's exceptionally accurate, and he's got a tight release, and I think he's got all the intangibles that Saleh needs. Saleh would have to develop Trey Lance or Justin Fields.
Good point.
I don't know if that would work for them.
Good point. That's a good point. Anoop, thanks for coming on. That's a great call. Thank you. All right. So from Anoop to Amin the Dream. Amin the Dream and Benny the Baller, man. man? What's going on?
I put my camera a little bit higher.
Dude, you got a lot going on right now, man, in the background.
Mhm.
It looks like we're in like a dance, like a discotheque. But looks good. How you doing?
Hello.
Yeah, there you go. There you go. Are you gonna give me an aneurysm? What's up, man? Let's talk.
So yesterday I went back and watched the Super Bowl.
Okay.
I went back and watched the Super Bowl. It was very hard for me to watch the entire Super Bowl.
This is the first time you've done it?
I've done it before. I tried to watch it, but then I couldn't watch the entire thing because I just couldn't. It just hurt too much, you know. So I went back and watched the entire thing. And most people put the blame on Jimmy Garoppolo. But my first blame goes on Kyle Shanahan.
Yeah.
My first blame goes on Kyle Shanahan because I watched back. Fourth quarter. 10 minutes left. Niners get an interception. 10 minutes left.
That should be the game. That should be the game.
That should be
Yep.
game.
Yep.
Niners get an interception. With 10 minutes left, if I told you that Patrick Mahomes had to score a touchdown and a field goal to tie the game, not to win the game, but to tie the game, and it's Niners ball with 10 minutes left.
Right.
Nobody
Not gonna happen.
would have said.
Not gonna
Nobody would have
happen.
said that
Yeah.
Patrick Mahomes would have won that game. Nobody.
Mhm.
With 10 minutes left, like, why wouldn't you just run the ball or stall clock?
Right.
Well,
Right.
instead you were like trying to throw passes and Jimmy Garoppolo would get sacked, and we didn't know what to do, and we gave the ball right back.
They were stopping the clock on themselves. Yep.
Yeah, we would just give the ball back to Patrick Mahomes. So like, it's not Jimmy Garoppolo's fault. Number one, first it's Kyle Shanahan's fault because with 10 minutes left, you have to stall. You have to waste clock. You can't really like throw the ball with 10 minutes left, and you can't really do that. You have to run the ball and waste time with 10 minutes left, which Kyle Shanahan didn't do. Which I was like, when I look back at it, I'm like, why? You've done that before in regular season games where it's like 5 minutes left or 10 minutes left on the clock, and you just run the ball and you get first downs after first downs after first downs. But what happened in the Super Bowl? What changed the Super Bowl? It's not like you were losing in the Super Bowl.
And that's what the Bucs did to win. I mean, they gave the ball to Leonard Fournette and just ran it in the second half and won. That's how you win.
The Bucs did that. So like, why wouldn't you do that, Kyle Shanahan?
Yeah.
And then
Kyle.
First blame goes on Kyle because if he just stalled clock and that didn't happen and they would have maybe gotten one more touchdown. Maybe they'd have gotten one touchdown, the Chiefs. But first blame goes on Kyle just because if he just stalled clock, we would have had a Super Bowl ring.
Yeah, exactly. And he's like, well, people were open. He should have made the throws. Shouldn't have called the passes, man.
Yeah, you shouldn't have. Second fault goes to Robert Saleh and that defense.
Yeah, that's fair. That's fair. The defense folded. It folded.
Yeah,
it just folded.
They allowed them to score 3 touchdowns with almost like less than 10 minutes left. 3 touchdowns.
Yeah, the Niners had that 10-point lead with I think 6.5 minutes left because it took the Chiefs a while to. 6.5 minutes, 3 scores.
Second fault goes to Robert Saleh and that defense because they should have made stops. Like with 6 minutes left, you shouldn't allow a team to score 3 touchdowns. Not 1, not 2, but 3 touchdowns. That should not happen. It's just
And so you have all these people who are blaming Jimmy Garoppolo that need to be taking some blame on themselves. That don't.
And the last blame, goes to Jimmy Garoppolo, but it's not Jimmy Garoppolo's fault because if Kyle Shanahan just wasted clock, and like, then what can Patrick Mahomes do with 3?
What I'll never understand is how they took the ball out of Jimmy Garoppolo's hands for the entire NFC Championship game. But then put the Super Bowl in his hands with a 10-point lead in the fourth quarter. It doesn't make sense to me. You're smarter than me, though. I mean, can you explain how that makes sense?
It just doesn't because I don't understand. Especially since Jimmy Garoppolo didn't throw the ball in the NFC Championship game, and it was working for you. The run game.
You didn't trust him. They say, "Oh no, the running game was working." No, you didn't trust him.
And then you trusted him in the Super Bowl when your run game was working, and you trusted him in the Super Bowl, the biggest game. You trusted him. You said, "Let's put the ball in Jimmy G's hands."
That doesn't make sense. It seemed like they were almost more sold out to win the NFC Championship game than the Super Bowl. Like they did whatever it took to win that NFC Championship game. And I'll never forget, I felt that they celebrated that NFC Championship win too much. They celebrated like they won the Super Bowl. Kyle Shanahan gave the trophy to his dad after the game. You had Emmanuel Sanders and Deebo Samuel in matching Versace robes.
To that NFC Championship game.
Oh, for sure. I was there too. They were in matching black Versace 49ers robes with gold chains around their neck and cigars. Like, you didn't win anything. You didn't win anything. I'll never get over that.
Game. Calm down.
Calm down, yo.
But the thing is, why would Kyle Shanahan, when the run game was working, you put the ball in Jimmy Garoppolo's hands, and especially with 10 minutes left, instead of wasting clock, you decide to say, "Hey, Jimmy Garoppolo, Now's your time. Now's your time to shine with 10 minutes left. Let's see what you can do. No.
I can't answer that question for you, but all I know is he did it this in 2016 with Matt Ryan. It's what he does.
Yeah.
You could say,
did that.
hey, man, if let's put it this way, and then I got to take the next caller. But if a player did something totally uncharacteristic under pressure, what would you say? It choked.
Yeah.
Maybe it's fair to wonder about Kyle in these pressure situations.
But it shouldn't have
Coach
been
can choke.
It shouldn't have been Jimmy Garoppolo choke. It should have been that Kyle Shanahan with 10 minutes left should have ran the football, which was working. Should have ran the football. And
That was my narrative.
Jimmy Garoppolo's hands.
That was my narrative, but it's a lot easier to throw Jimmy under the bus. It's a lot easier. But Jimmy could
easier.
have the last laugh if he goes somewhere else and wins.
But when I went back and I looked at the entire game, I said it's not Jimmy Garoppolo's fault because if Kyle Shanahan ran the ball, Jimmy Garoppolo wouldn't have time. The Chiefs wouldn't have time to score the ball. Robert Saleh shouldn't have allowed those points, but it shouldn't even happen because the Chiefs should have only had like 4 minutes to score. And in the last result that Jimmy Garoppolo had to make that throw, but that it shouldn't even gone to that point where it was tie game or we were losing that game. It shouldn't have even got to that point.
I agree.
So,
I mean, great call as always, man. I appreciate you.
Thank you.
Go outside, dude. Stop doing with the discotheque on the middle of a Sunday. Yeah, no, it was good.
Every week I wait for Cohn phone every week, bro.
Appreciate it, man. Go have a great day, dude.
All right. See
Good stuff, dude. Hey, man, how you doing?
What's going on?
What's up, man? What's going on?
Hey, man. I've been doing some thinking, and the way I'm looking at this situation, I'm looking at it the way the Ravens, when they beat the 49ers in the Super Bowl, and Joe Flacco won the Super Bowl. John Harbaugh, he was almost on his way out. And if you,
he was.
Think about it, them drafting Lamar Jackson helped extend his career.
Correct.
So basically, I don't think they can take Matt Jones because if you take Matt Jones, I guarantee you, you're probably going to be fired within the next year and a half. If you take Justin Fields and you draft him on this team, I'm almost positive he's going to have success, and he'll be able to get Kyle Shanahan at least to his next contract. Because if you look at John Harbaugh, Lamar Jackson, he's coming up on his contract. So if it doesn't work out, John Harbaugh can be like, "Hey, look, see, we tried. Lamar Jackson, he just didn't develop as a passer."
But what he did do was extend John Harbaugh's rope 5 years.
Yep.
Makes sense.
Yeah,
that's a good point.
I definitely think with Fields, it's the safer pick. And if you have Fields on this team with Raheem Mostert, Debo, when they put that play action, I mean, that's what the league is going to now. So
but you're also talking from a self-preservation standpoint. Like, Kyle, you can feel whoever fits better, whatever. You can have an opinion, but just know if you take Mac Jones and it doesn't work out, you're out in 2 years. If you take Justin Fields, people will wait. You have more rope with Fields. You have more rope.
Because think about it. You think John Lynch, he wants to go back to broadcasting with, "Hey, man, by the way, you drafted Matt Jones." Yeah. You think somebody want to do that?
Yeah, your credibility's shot.
It's shot. So that's why I think the pick is going to be Justin Fields, and I think they're going to roll the dice with Jimmy this year. And if he gets hurt, the same thing with like Flacco. They put Lamar Jackson in, they'll put Fields in, and I think he'll be able to have success early, and then just kind of see, see where it goes.
Yeah, before I let you go, Kyle, he may not want to coach a quarterback like Justin Fields or RG3, but he has coached a quarterback like that before. And despite what he wants, he had a lot of success with RG3 until RG3 got hurt. So, I mean, if the organization puts it like that to Kyle, like, "Hey, man, you may not want Justin Fields, but we know you can coach him, so make it work."
Yeah. Well, see, I mean, if you just ask the Rams, Seattle, Arizona,
who do they want
to take twice?
Exactly. Good point.
Who do you want to face twice?
They're praying the Niners take Mac Jones.
Yeah, absolutely. You have the worst quarterback by far, and it won't even be close.
Yeah. Hey, man, thanks for waiting and thanks for coming on. Great stuff. All right, I'm taking two more because it's 11:25. If you waited for an hour and a half, I didn't get you. I'm so sorry. I can't do everyone. My wife just walked back in from her walk, and I know it's time. So Ben and then Jeff, and then I'm out. Ben, what's up? How you doing?
I'm
I
doing
love
good, man.
you got the old school microphone. It looks nice. Like you're one of these. You know what I mean?
Snowball.
That's
Yeah,
right. What's up? Yeah.
No, I got my stuff, but man, I got to start with East Bay Chris.
I still haven't seen it. I still haven't seen it.
Well, I know
Gotta
the
watch
actor
tomorrow.
you hired to go on that stream the other night definitely wasn't you. And
How'd he do? How'd he do?
He did
How'd
well.
he do?
I think
He did well?
he did a good job of giving the people the impression that he knows you well and that you guys are very similar. And no. it
Oh,
was
dude,
true.
we're basically brothers.
Well, he told me how you got, or he, not me, but he told the stream how you guys went out and had like a little PF Chang's
We did?
like date or whatever. But
Oh yeah, it was very romantic. It was right after the Super Bowl loss. I got back from Miami. We went out to
Really?
PF Chang's in Walnut Creek, and we split the bill. So it wasn't really a date. We split the bill. Yeah.
All right. Well, I just got to get that straight.
Yeah.
But no, honestly, like before I get into myself, I got to be real. There was like a few days where I was following you and him very closely. And I thought I like determined that you were the same person. Like I was paying attention to like grammar and the timing of tweets.
We just have
and,
the same sense of humor, but it's really someone else. He lives in the Bay Area. He's got a nice wife. He has kids. Anyway.
Yeah.
His two kids.
But
yeah.
Wow. And that actor was great. Really, he was.
Okay, what's on your mind, man?
But I got to start with my stuff. I think I've determined who they're not going to take at quarterback. I don't know who they're going to take. I really don't.
Tell me who they're not going to take.
They're not going to take Mac, and everyone's discussed it at length. But the problem with McCorkle is that you can't sell him as a top 3 pick.
You can't.
And the reality is that
Let alone one you traded up for. Let alone one you traded up for. Get out of here.
Let alone one you traded up for. And out of all the guys at the top of the draft, he's the one guy who you could legitimately say could like 100% get Kyle Shanahan fired.
No question.
And people have to take more stock into that for me. But I also think it's not going to be Trey Lance because, and like I've talked about it a little bit, but the dude is just too inexperienced. I mean, not only do you look at like all the stats and stuff in college, right? Because there's all the stuff I can bring up. I mean, he's like 200 completions. Most completions in a game is like 21.
Oh.
But at the same time, he's only played like 2 legit starting years at quarterback, and 1 in high school and 1 in college. I mean, Justin Fields, he's probably played 5-6 years of quarterback at least to this
Probably
point.
a quarterback in middle school,
Yeah, like that's my point. Everyone who's saying, like, I see some people on Twitter saying, oh, you can play Trey Lance year 1 or he's ready and all this stuff. Man, he is not ready. He's not like you and I might be more, maybe not. But the point is,
no, but he's really green. Really green.
So green. It's crazy to me. Like you're not going to be able to play him for at least a year and a half. And then
he's so green, he's blue. He's a different color.
Exactly.
He's purple.
And with what the Niners did, like they're trying to win now. So I just don't buy that. Like he just doesn't fit their timeline, no matter how.
I agree. He does not fit their timeline. If you take him, you run the risk of having more losing seasons. And by the time he's ready to go, you could be fired. So I don't think they can do it. I don't think they can do it.
No,
but I think the Jets could do it.
Yeah,
I don't know if they should do it.
And I push back on you for a sec just because, like, if you look at the quarterback depth chart, like, it's only James Morgan, right? But, like, another caller said earlier, who knows? They could get Jimmy Garoppolo. They could
I like that.
Teddy Bridgewater,
That's
maybe.
smart.
I mean, they had him there for a few years. Who knows?
That's true. That's true.
So, I think there's, like, But I want to get off the quarterbacks for a sec. I got to end on this before I get out of here.
Okay.
Why isn't anyone talking about Fred Warner right now? I haven't seen like anybody. I mean, anybody, not even you, really. Like no one is talking about the Fred Warner potential extension that we're looking at. I mean, could it be like a George Kittle situation like we were looking at last year?
Well, Kittle got his extension right before camp, so that way it could drag on, or it could be a DeForest Buckner situation where they trade him before the draft. I don't know.
Well, and the thing that worries me is that we're hearing absolutely nothing about it. Like that's the thing. If any, like especially with Defoe and with D4, I mean, all these guys, it just comes out of nowhere. It's like we haven't heard, even with Kittle and the guys who have been extended by this regime, we heard about like some of this stuff before it happened. You know, there have been leaks. There haven't been leaks like for trades or free agents, but with the extensions, there's at least been like some leaks in the past. And with Fred Warner, there's just like absolutely nothing. It's crickets right now. So I guess I'm just really worried because I don't know. I hope they figure it out. I really want him to be there long term, but like what even would they trade him for like that could justify that at this point? Like I don't get it.
The Jets have a lot of picks, man. It wouldn't be the number 2 pick, but they have another pick in round 1. There could be something brewing between the Niners and Jets. We gotta keep that on the table, man. Ben, thanks for reminding us because I totally forgot about him. Totally.
Oh, yeah.
I've been on the quarterback train.
No,
Have a great day, man.
It's
I know
not
it's like
just you,
2:30
Grant.
over there.
It is, man. So yeah, I'm working in the afternoon a little, but it's all
Sweet.
good. I'll talk to you later, Grant. Good
All
talk.
right, man. Good to see you, man. Thanks for
Hey.
waiting, Jeff.
Hey, it's all
How
right.
you doing,
I'm the
man?
closer, man.
You're the closer, man. What's up?
All right. How you been, man?
Good, man.
All right, cool. So you know what? I want to unpack a little bit of stuff here. So first off, we were talking about earlier in your stream today about Stafford, and why we didn't go for him. You know, so they were a little bit of at a precipice as far as what direction they wanted to go at quarterback and what style they wanted at quarterback. You know, they had the option of being able to trade for Stafford, who's traditionally more of a pocket quarterback, a little more traditional. Seems like he would fit more the traditional Kyle Shanahan mold a little bit better, but they passed on that and they were looking into Watson. They were going down that pipe dream. And that's obviously why they weren't as aggressive as they could have been with Stafford. And then obviously Watson's situation becomes tenuous and now you get the trade up. So what it leads me to kind of believe in just how things played out is that they're looking for a more athletic quarterback, first of all. So if we're looking at who are they going to take at number 3, I think they're looking for the upside and the athleticism.
Anyone but Mac Jones, yes.
Really anyone but Mac Jones. And I had this analogy with the Bay Area Baller in his setup over there, but it's like your friend buys a brand new Toyota Camry, right? And starts telling you about the car. Everything's great. It's a nice car. And then your friend tells you how much they paid for it. And they're like, yeah, I paid $100,000 for it. And you're like, whoa, wait a minute. You paid $100,000 for a Toyota Camry. It's a nice car, but it's not worth $100,000.
Let me tell you what you could have bought for that.
Yeah, exactly.
You could have bad news.
Yeah, you could have gotten a Corvette Z06 for $100,000. You know what I mean? So
you could have got 2 Kia Stingers. You know what I'm saying? You could have really, you know.
Yeah, I mean, electric blue. I mean, you could have upgraded. On a Kia Stinger, you know.
Yeah.
But anyhow, so
is there an upgrader on the Kia Stinger? I don't
know.
But anyway, I don't know. Keep going.
You know, you put some sweet rims on it. You know? But in my opinion, as far as Mac Jones is concerned, and I like Mac Jones, and we've talked about him a lot. But I think he's a fine quarterback, but he's not $100,000 car.
No.
You know what I mean? He is more of a Toyota Camry. You know what I mean?
He's a Corolla.
He's a Corolla. Yeah. But anyways, I think that they priced themselves out of Mac Jones, and the fact that they spent 3 first-round picks, they spent additional third to move up to number 3 overall.
Never. I don't. Are you kidding? What's the point of buying one if I can't brag about it all the time? Anyway,
it's the whip, man. What are you talking about?
It's the whip. It is. All right, sorry about that.
But anyway, so I think that really does kind of ace out Mac Jones, and I think they're already looking for a quarterback with athletic upside, and the fact that they traded so much, maybe they could have made that trade with the Eagles if they really wanted to get Mac and not giving up so much. So it doesn't make too much sense for them to be going that direction at number 3.
They got one more move up their sleeve, and I think it's Zach Wilson, but we'll see. It could be Justin Fields. Maybe it's Justin Fields, and everyone's right.
I think it could be either. I think it's either Wilson or Fields on the on the off chance that they
can't be Lance. It's just a terrible fit in terms of the timeline, Lance.
Yeah, and that was one of you kind of lead me to my next point as far as they're in win now. They signed all these guys back to 2 to 3 year deals. They start to get expensive after 3 years. They need to. It is hot.
Sorry, keep going. I'm sorry.
No, man, you're all good, bro. So they need to lost my train of thought. So anyway, they need to win now. They need to win now, and they don't have time to wait for Lance to be able to develop into a quarterback. And I totally appreciate what other people are saying about Lance and how athletic he is and his talent that he brings to the table. I do agree he's an athletic guy, but I mean, as your last caller just said, I mean, he has maybe 2 years of experience as a quarterback at all in his life. Yeah, not just in college, but just in his life. And then that was at North Dakota State. They're kind of the Alabama of their little world over there. So it makes me a little bit concerned thinking that they might take Lance here. Oh yeah, turbo it up, man.
It goes so fast. It's
get the whistle on it, man.
Much fun. It purrs too. It's not a loud car. It's not like one of these loud V8s. It's so choice. I'm about to be in that sucker in about 35, 45 minutes. I don't know where I'm going to go. I just drive these days.
Just drive, man.
I just drive these days. Yeah, no, Trey Lance can't do it. Trey Lance, I think he makes more sense for the Jets than for the 49ers. The way I look at Trey Lance is two situations. It's the Jordan Love situation, go somewhere, sit for 2 years. Right. Or the Josh Allen situation. Go somewhere and learn on the job, and you do it on a team that isn't even expecting to win, and that's not the Niners, either one.
I have to agree with that point a lot because, either the Jets, there's your, just kind of learning on the job type of thing, or Atlanta's a great situation. They have an incumbent starter. He could sit for a couple of years while Matt Ryan plays out the rest of his career, and then they have a guy that they developed in-house. It just doesn't make very much sense to the 49ers for a team that's looking to play potentially for a Super Bowl. They need to make the playoffs in order to, secure their jobs for the future. And Trey Lance just doesn't bring that to the table for you.
No, Trey Lance almost jeopardizes your future because, again, they have to win this year. Have to. You can't have another losing season and blame it on one thing or another. Like you're supposed to be a good coach, dude. You've used the excuse card twice. Win. And Trey Lance doesn't help that at all. That's a risky thing. It's like, all right, well, we don't need our first round pick to help us this year. Word? You don't? Okay, man. Good luck.
And if they're floating around the potential of keeping Jimmy for another year, well, Jimmy gets hurt. So the guy that you draft is going to probably be playing a significant amount of time next year if, history repeats itself, which it tends to do so.
Again, also like trading 3 firsts for Trey Lance, who can't play for 3 years. Like you traded your future, but you can't build it up because you spent it on Lance. It just doesn't work. It works better for the Jets or the Falcons. I think it works for those two. Play for the Jets, sit for the Falcons. Either way, on the Niners, there's a very good chance he's playing week 3 and struggling, and then the whole operation is in jeopardy.
Absolutely. And the whole thing as far as, the media being plugged in and saying that, we're taking Mac Jones. I'm sorry. I don't buy any
educated guesses.
Educated guesses. And I respect, Adam Schefter and other guys on the inside. I have zero connections. So they have.
Also, to be fair to Schefter, he hasn't said he's heard. He's said, this is my guess. And he's very confident about it, which means he's heard something. But he's not going out and saying, according to my sources, this is locked in. So you just don't know. A lot can change. There's 3 weeks left. 4 weeks left.
And they're making that assumption or guess on the fact that, who is the traditional Kyle Shanahan quarterback? Who is the Kirk Cousins? Who is the Matt Ryan type of guy in this draft? And it certainly is Mac Jones. But the fact that they really were flirting so hard with Deshaun Watson, it really leads me to believe they're going in a little bit of a different direction as far as what they're looking for from the position. And they want that athletic upside.
I think I see that too. Jeff, where are you calling from again? Because it's always so immaculate.
Well, I'm outside San Diego. I'm in a suburb outside of it. Yeah. So
nice, man. Nice, dude. Well, thanks for calling in, man. I'm gonna do an outside show one of these days too, because you make it look good.
You got it, man.
I gotta get out of my bedroom one of these days.
Yeah, you gotta do it.
Yeah,
you gotta do it. Enjoy the Cali sun. Appreciate you, dude.
Too, have a good one. Have a good one, man. Take care. Chewy. I said I was gonna stop, but dude, it's Chewy, man. What's up? This is the last call of the show, man. What's going on?
All right, Grant. So I'm glad you took the extra time.
I couldn't do you like that. What's up?
I wanted to talk about the power of your show, man. You got some serious pull in the industry, Grant, because last week I came on the show. We talked about elite skills, who has them, who doesn't. It was not to downplay Mac Jones. I wasn't trying to demean him or anything like that. I think he's a good player. But it just forced everybody across the world to go back and revisit all these quarterbacks. Yes. And whose stock is starting to climb back up, whose stock is starting to go this way. It's Justin Fields. Fields and Lance. Yep. The athletic, the strong super athletes that have all of the physical tools. Yes. I knew it was going to happen. I told everybody, don't worry. This funny situation is the second Cohn phone you ever did. I came on the show and I said, my guy is Zach Wilson. That's when we thought, he was going to go like top 10 and we weren't going to have a shot at him. And we were saying, but he really should be going like in pick 20 to 30 around that range. Yes. That's like a good place value for him. But coming full circle, we're going to get our guy, Grant. We're going to get my guy that I've been saying the whole time.
I'm fairly confident of that too. I am too. I think so.
And, now everybody's starting to see the Justin Fields talent that he has, and he's starting to rise back up those boards, coming 2 weeks to the draft. I think the Jets are going to get him. I've been pretty confident the Jets were going to get Justin Fields this whole time. And all the rumors about Zach Wilson, I never bought into that. Justin Fields is just too talented of a player to not go second overall. I mean, in any other draft, he would go first overall. It would not even be a question. He would be number 1 overall. He has Michael Vick athleticism, not as quite the arm that Michael Vick had. He has Lamar Jackson athleticism. The guy will go number 2 overall. Like, I'm saying it right now. Everybody watching.
Yeah, all I'm saying is my theory is that the Jets will take Lance, but the theories of the people in the league that I trust all saying Fields. Fields, they think the Jets take Fields. So
I agree.
They're with you on that one. They're with you on that one. Yep.
And I just want to congratulate you, Grant, because you have this kind of pull, man. I mean, everybody saw this last week on the show, and now the national narrative is changing just because of Grant Cohn.
Hey, man. No, hold on. All I did was provide the platform for you to speak some serious truths. So really, you're the talent, man. All I did was amplify your voice. So I want to shout out you. Good job. Way to do your thing. Set that narrative.
Right. Well, I appreciate you getting me on. Sorry you weren't the closer, the last caller, but we're changing the game here, Grant. We're setting the tone.
Great stuff. Hey, say what's up to your wife. I didn't see her this time. I appreciated the cameo last time. Say what's up.
That's messed up, Grant. But okay.
I didn't mean it like that. Have a good one, man.
I see you.
All right. He said that's messed up. Ah, man.